Hi, I'm Kim Anderson, President of the Faribault Area Chamber of Commerce. Welcome to our Candid Conversations with Candidates. The election is on November 6th. It's very important to become informed on local issues and to exercise your right to vote. Now let's meet our candidates for school board.
Hi, my name is Jason Engbrecht, and I'm a candidate for re-election to the Faribault School Board. I live here in Faribault with my wife and 2 daughters, who I'm proud to say attend Jefferson Elementary School. I'm the son, the grandson, and the nephew of educators, so I guess it's no surprise that I decided to become an educator myself. I'm now a physics professor at St. Olaf College and excited to be there. My wife is also in education, working as a special education teacher here in the Faribault School District. It's been a privilege these last 4 years to work on the Faribault School Board. Getting to work with teachers, administrators, and support staff who always find a way to put our kids first is truly an honor. Many good things have happened during the past 4 years. Test scores are up in our district, particularly in math. 4 years ago, we were in a position where, unfortunately, a number of our schools were in a situation of perhaps facing some repercussions because of low test scores. This past year, I'm proud to report that 2 of the 5 schools here in Faribault are in fact in the top 20% of the state, according to the MMR. The state also reports how many schools are the schools that are in the bottom 25% of the state, and I'm just as excited that none of our schools are in that category. So I'm proud of that, and proud of that for our district. We've also restored some financial stability to the district. Shortly before 4 years ago, the district was in a position of being in what's called statutory operating debt, a time at which the state will come in and take over the school if that doesn't get rectified. We're now in a position where we're well above that, and in fact we have a significant reserve on hand, meaning we have a nice savings account. That savings account was particularly important last year when, due to rising costs, the district was in a situation of needing to make some significant cuts. We were able to stave off the worst of those cuts by using up a portion of our savings. Unfortunately, we can't continue that, and in the long term, we'll need to find a more permanent solution. We've also been able to restore faith with our teachers in the district. We've been able to have contract negotiations that were respectful while at the same time providing 2 of the lowest contract settlements that we've had in the last 20 years. Below average for the state and below average for the Big 9 in terms of the amount it costs the school district. And in fact, lower than the contentious negotiation that took place prior to that time. We've also stabilized the administration in the district. We were in a position in which we had superintendents coming and going from the district, and over the course of a couple of years, we're unable to keep a financial director of a $40 million operation for longer than 6 months. That's now ended, and we have stability at the top end of our district so that our schools can concentrate on educating our kids and not the drama happening at the central office. Moving forward, the big question we need to face is how to find the resources to support the good work that's going on in our schools. Unfortunately, at this time, Faribault is not doing enough to find the financial resources for our schools. Our levy in Faribault is right now last in the Big 9 for resources for our kids. It's well below the state average at $385, below the state average of $900. And is significantly below the vast majority of school districts of comparable size and economics. Simply put, we are not doing enough for our kids. Now, I have faith that we can do better for our schools, and so I certainly support the levy. The schools in our district, our schools in any community, are the strength of the community. They represent the entire community, from those who are at the bottom of the economic ladder to those who are at the top of the economic ladder. They represent those who come from all of the diverse backgrounds and ethnicities that we have in our community. They are, in fact, the heart and soul of our community. And so the school is the foundation and the bedrock on which everything else in the community is built. I've been privileged to work on that bedrock and that foundation for the last 4 years. And with your support in November, I would be privileged to continue doing so for the next 4 years. Thank you.
I'm Yvette Marthaler, and I'm a candidate for the Faribault School Board. I am running for school board because I want to contribute to the Faribault community. My family moved to Faribault 21 years ago. We have made great friends and we feel very fortunate to be part of this unique community. My oldest son graduated from Faribault High School. He had a great experience in the Faribault Public Schools. His teachers expected the best from him and encouraged academic and personal achievement. My youngest son suffered from chronic illness, and Faribault Special Education Services provided academic services to him that guaranteed he would graduate from high school and move on to college. The staff was compassionate and dedicated to his success. I am running for school board because I want to represent my friends, my colleagues, and the people I work with as a social worker. We all want the best for our children and our community, and Faribault Public Education is the source of our success. Parents want their children to be able to succeed in secondary education and the workforce. They want their children to have exposure to technology and creative experiences that will promote their success. Faribault Public Schools can accomplish this success. I grew up in a single-parent home, and my mother worked in what we call today the service industry. She believed in public education and encouraged me to excel in my education. Public education gave me the opportunity to improve my economic future and to be the first person in my extended family to graduate from college. Many people in Faribault live in poverty. They want better jobs. They want better jobs for their children. Faribault Public Schools can provide this opportunity. Faribault businesses want the best workers in the area with strong communication and vocational skills. Faribault Public Schools can train these workers. The primary issue facing Faribault Public Schools is the financial future of our district. The education Faribault students receive is affected by large class sizes, a decrease in art and vocational education, and a lack of investment in new technology and curriculum. I support the levy referendum put on the ballot by the current school board. I understand the tax burden on the community, but the levy request is not extravagant. It is a realistic and necessary investment in our community. We need to be united as a community and invest in our public education. The future development of business in Faribault, the decrease in our poverty rate, the safety of our community, and the cultural and recreational opportunities that we all love about Faribault are based on the success of our public education system. Faribault Public Schools rely on the skills and dedication of our teachers and staff. In my career here in Faribault and my recent experience attending school district meetings, I have been very impressed by the dedication and the commitment shown by our teachers and staff. They are devoted to the care and success of our children. Staff needs our support. Teachers are not the source of our financial problems. They are our best resource for improving Faribault's financial future. Faribault Public Schools also have a great history of collaboration, working with the whole community. The Rotary Club, businesses, the Chamber, city and county services, nonprofit agencies. As a board member, I would like to be part of these collaborations, using community agencies and resources to improve opportunities for our students and continue to make diversity an asset in our public education. It would be an honor and a challenge to work as a member of the Faribault School District Board. I hope you will give me that opportunity to meet the challenge.
Hello, my name is Peggy Ployhar, and I'm a candidate for the school board. Thank you for taking this time to watch this video and learn more about my candidacy. You know, I believe that every citizen has a duty to their community, and as I listened to a neighbor in my kitchen, and put a bug in my ear about running for school board, I thought, that's a way I can give back to my community. I have a degree in physics with an emphasis in mathematics and secondary education. And instead of going on to be a teacher, I went into the quality assurance field in the medical device industry. I dealt with a lot of things in the regulatory environment, and it's a lot of things that school boards deal with. It's in mandates on an everyday basis. But mandates are not my passion in education. Actually, my passion in education stems from a lot of experience I've had, especially with my own children and some foster children that we've had in the past. I have 2 children that have dealt with special needs in the schools and in their education. One diagnosed with Asperger's and speech issues, and also we had 3 foster children who dealt with fetal alcohol effect. And being an advocate for them within the schools was quite challenging, as I learned. But I also learned that it could be quite rewarding. On top of that, I've also worked for 2.5 years with Robicheau, which is the Minnesota Association of Christian Home Educators, as their special needs coordinator. And I was able to help other parents advocate for their children and their children's education. And it was quite a blessing to learn just about their kids and the advances that they made, and also just to hear their stories. And it gave me an even greater passion for that area. As Robicheau's special needs coordinator, I also had the opportunity to speak at a state level on how to teach special needs, how to write an IEP, which is an individual education plan, which is used in the public schools for every special needs child, and also how to take regular curriculum and adapt it perfectly to be able to meet the needs and the IEPs for special needs children without having to buy expensive additional curriculum. But homeschooling is not my only area that I've delved in with education. I've also been involved in the public school sector. My children have attended band in the public schools, and this last year we had the opportunity of hosting an exchange student from Indonesia. And so we became full-time public school parents as well as homeschooling parents. And that was a very rewarding experience, but not just from the school perspective, but also because the student that we hosted was a practicing Muslim. Adding a practicing Muslim to our very Christian family was a bit of a challenge at first, but we learned over the year how to make that work and how to build a strong relationship between the 2 of us despite our differences. And I believe that's an advantage that I bring to the table, being able to understand greater that the Islamic population, especially considering the demographics of Faribault. Well, I'm just going to wrap up with the 2 final questions that I was asked to address in this video, and the first is the levy. There is a $600 proposed levy for the schools, in addition to the $385 levy that's already in effect. We are in a very tight economy right now. Pocketbooks are tight, and yes, we can compare ourselves to the other school districts around us, but as we compare their data, they're spending more than they're taking in also. And we have to think, do we want to follow other districts that are digging themselves into holes, or do we want to think of a different solution? We need to be able to afford the education that we give our children, and it needs to be a quality education. But I think we can make those 2 meld together if we work hard and we look for alternative solutions instead of just saying, well, that's what everybody else is doing. The last question that I'm going to address is just what is going good for Faribault schools? What is going good is you. I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of people at the county fair, and we're starting to go door to door. My family and I are going to be passing out flyers, and hopefully we'll be able to meet you in person if we haven't already. And the thing that I'm finding is the passion that you have and the passion that the parents have and just community members in general have for the kids and the schools in Faribault. And I'm very excited about that. You give me hope. And I would like to be part of that hope. And I just ask that if you feel that I would do a good job in passing on that hope, that you would consider voting for me in November. If you want to learn more about me and things that I wasn't able to address on this video, I just ask that you visit my blog, which is Ployhar, Ployhar, or schoolboard2012.blogspot.com. Thank you and God bless.
I want to thank the Chamber for the opportunity to participate in this video information about my candidacy as the school board candidate for Independent School District 656. I have just completed and will complete in January the first 4-year term of the school board, and have been very impressed with what has transpired in the school district since my election to the school board 4 years ago. A little bit more about myself. My name is Jerry Robicheau. I have been a resident of Faribault since 1981. I have 2 grown children who went through the system and graduated in 1989 and 1991. I have a wife, and we, like I indicated, have been a resident of Faribault since 1981. I have also been an active participant in the Faribault School District. I came here as a director of special ed. I've been an assistant superintendent and have extreme knowledge about the operation of the school district. And I'm very, very proud to say that I am a resident of Faribault, Minnesota, and also that I serve on the school board that provides direction and assistance to a top-notch quality educational system. So I have chosen to refile and seek re-election because I am proud of what is happening in the school district. I'm proud of the students, the staff, and the community that are providing a quality education. I'll get into a little bit more on that later on in this process. There are 3 questions that we've been asked to respond to in this videotaping. First of all, what are the top issues that we are seeing in the Faribault School District, and how the board should address those issues? The first one that I see is the whole issue of student achievement. That is our number one goal, our number one purpose, is to make sure that our students are receiving the highest quality education that they can in fact receive. Second issue is to provide some financial stability in the school district. And how we address that, again, is through the process of going for a levy. The state of Minnesota has not fulfilled its commitment to fund public schools, and consequently, the only option we have available to us is to go to the taxpayers of Independent School District 656 to ask for some additional financial support. We also have demographics that are changing in this community and in this school district, and we have to give the teachers the skills and the knowledge to address those changing demographics. Student achievement, we make sure that we are, the way the board should address that is to make sure policies are addressing those issues as it relates to students, and to make sure that students have the opportunity to achieve success. Second item that we needed to address is the position on the up-and-coming levy. I am in 100% support of that levy. And the reason that I support that levy is that I do not want to see our children shortchanged when it comes to opportunities for educational programs. The school board last night went through a list of about $1.7 million in budget cuts and program reductions that will directly impact the education of our students if this levy is not passed. So I am fully supportive of this levy, and I believe that is the option that we have available to us, given the fact that the state of Minnesota has not fulfilled its total obligation in funding schools. The third item that we were to respond to is what are the strengths of the school district? And I mentioned that very briefly at the onset. I see it's a 3-legged stool of the strengths. It's the students, the staff, and the community. If any one of those are not in harmony, we have some real difficulty. But fortunately, and one of the reasons I am honored to serve on the school board is in fact that that 3-legged stool works in harmony. We have high quality educated students who are working very, very hard in the classroom. We have staff who are dedicated, extremely dedicated in making sure that students have an successful opportunity in their educational program. And then we have a community that historically has been supportive of the school and the time that we have available for students in the school district. So those are the 3 areas that I see as the strength of the school district. Again, I'm very proud to serve on the school board, and very willing to continue serving in a capacity to make sure that our policies are addressing the needs of our students and that student achievement remains our number one goal. Thank you.
Hello, ladies, gentlemen, friends, neighbors. My name is Deborah Salonek, and I'm a candidate for the Faribault School Board. And I would just like to say a few things about myself first, so you know some of my background. I am a mother of 3 grown sons who also live and work in Faribault. And I have a daughter who is a senior at Faribault High School, and she also works in Faribault. I have been a nurse since 1989 when I graduated from nursing school. I still have my nursing license to this day. My favorite job was when I worked with the vets at Minneapolis VA Medical Center. I was also a union leader at the VA Medical Center. I went from being a steward to a couple months later being voted in as 3rd Vice President of American Federation of Government Employees, Local 1969. And I should have said 4th Vice President. And then a couple months later I was moved up to 3rd. So I took care of my coworkers and took care of other issues while I was there. So I do have leadership qualities. I also am a tutor for the adult education program here in Faribault, and I also am an advocate for the American Foundation for the Prevention of Suicide, and that is another way that I find to educate. And this is just one more way. Now, as we go along, I wanted to tell you some more things that I feel are the most pressing issues for the Faribault district right now, and that is the achievement scores and on the state and federal standardized tests, and also the levy is also a very important issue right now, and I have a few things to say about that further in my speech. As taxpayer and concerned parents, I think it's time that we hold our officials accountable for what they use our money and for how they use our money and how our children are taught. Raising the levy by nearly triple the amount, but keeping the same people in office isn't the answer. Has your income tripled? Has your quality of life tripled? And are our children outperforming their peers? No. It's time to stand up and speak loudly to say, we don't want it, we won't do it. We won't keep rewarding failure. We want accountability, and we want to keep, we want efficient and effective change for the better. We want our return on our investments. As parents of the community and taxpayers, as parents, we really want to see our children succeed in this terrible global economy right now. We want winning people to do that, not the same tried and failed. The $19.3 million levy, which is coming up, is a tough one for me because we know nothing about it. Even the people on the board don't know anything about it. They don't know where they're going to spend that money. They haven't revealed anything. They don't have a plan. So how can we make a choice on a levy when we don't know where that money is going to be spent? And that is my issue with the levy, is that there's no information out there. I don't like buying something when I know nothing about the product. And one of the board members actually at the last meeting suggested that we raise the levy from $600 per pupil to $900 without giving a reason. And I ask you, why? I don't want to see the children hurt. That is the last thing in the world, and that is the first thing that comes out when they're thinking about the levy. But is that they come out with that. Why not, like the paper said, why not think about administration first for cuts? The children shouldn't be the last people that are hurt by a levy, when it fails. And I don't know if it's going to pass or fail. Time will tell. But I thank you for this time. And I just want to tell you that I promise to do the best job that I can with the monies that we have available to give our children the best education, go from failing to average to excellence. Thank you.